Roman from Rise Over Run Vancouver here, and today I'm super excited to introduce to you Valerie Mrakuzic from Eating to Live Well. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Valerie.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure. And I'm super excited to dive into her story. She is on a mission to help people live a healthier lifestyle. I'm going to let her take it away from here. Valerie, why don't we jump right into it and you share with us your mission and what inspired you to start Eating to Live Well?
Thank you. Yes. It's been a long journey. Usually we start with our own health experiences and that of our family, and that really guides us into wanting to do better and helping people.
Very
So with my own story, it started probably when I was in my early 20s. I had some health challenges. I tried various different things and just found that working with nutrients and getting to the underlying root problem of what's causing our health concerns was the biggest factor in getting us well.
Yes.
And so I've studied a lot. I had a different career in the beginning, and I was an accountant actually.
Okay.
And but when I had my children, I went back to school. I studied and became a registered holistic nutritionist. And so that has provided education and learning, and then just being able to understand what our body needs in order to be healthy and well. So now I work with clients just to see where they have health imbalances related to nutritional deficiencies, food sensitivities, all these different things that can be impacting our health, our hormones, detoxing from chemicals and different things. So these factors all play a big part in what we need to do to be healthy and understanding where these imbalances are. So that's my journey right now, and being able to help people has been fantastic.
I absolutely love it. I totally love how your mission is to get to the root cause, the underlying problems. With today's day and age, everything's almost like a Band-Aid, if
Yes,
that makes sense. Just
exactly.
take this and it'll make you feel better, but
Right.
it doesn't actually help the root cause or change anything for the better, if that makes sense.
Of course, yeah. And so one of the tools that I use is something called biofeedback.
Okay.
And that is where we run 11,000 different energies across your body when we're doing a scan. And the body will react to all these different frequencies or energies that come across the body. And so it's giving us a very good insight as to where imbalances are. For example, if it's the food sensitivities or toxins or deficiencies or gut health, all these different things, as I say, impact how we're feeling and the different conditions that we have.
Definitely, and frequencies is definitely getting a lot more and a lot more popular, and so I'm really excited to hear more about this and learn more about it as well. But I know that is almost like a trend now, but it's so powerful with what the frequencies can do. So why don't you share more about this on this topic?
Oh, for sure. So with using frequencies, everything has an energy or a frequency to it. And so it just gives us a very good understanding as to when people are reacting to certain frequencies, where their imbalances are or their blocking factors. So sometimes, we're dealing with, as I mentioned, food sensitivities, many different things. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not diagnosing, but we're definitely looking to see where there's imbalances and then being able to understand where they are and how foods and nutrients can help. We can also do something called biofeedback training, and that's when we send energy to a person just to help their body release the stresses of whatever's going on in their body. So it's very powerful. It's like getting a massage or some type of other adjustment, chiropractor, any of those types of therapies. So they're very supportive when you're going through different conditions. We do scanning for people just to see where their imbalances, and then putting meal plans together for people and making recommendations for foods and nutrients based on the energies that they're also reacting to. And then doing the biofeedback training is something a little bit different, but it's something that we focus on with regards to putting meal plans together for people, knowing how they've reacted to certain energy or frequency of their food. It just gives us that insight and awareness, what would be the best and opportune thing for our bodies as well. So that's the most important thing.
Yes, I do think that is absolutely amazing because awareness is first most important. You can't treat something or know exactly what to do if you're not aware of what's going wrong. Sometimes we have these feelings. It can be exhaustion, soreness, migraines, different things like this, but we
Right.
don't actually know where the root cause is coming from.
So definitely use biofeedback to assess where there's imbalances, and then we create a customized meal plan, supplement recommendations to get you feeling healthy and well, vibrant. It will also be very preventative for future health conditions or things that you're trying to be aware of, genetics, that type of thing, and how foods and nutrients can play such a huge part in that. And so putting this all together for people, we have many different levels of what we offer. We do nutritional assessments. We do nutrition and wellness plans. We do detox and weight loss plans.
I love this.
We do also one-on-one support with coaching as well, because that's the biggest thing that I have found working with clients is they have all the information, and then it's how do we implement it, and moving forward, how do we get you success?
Yes,
Because
it can be overwhelming sometimes for a lot of people.
oh,
Sure.
definitely, definitely. So that's something that we've just incorporated as well, is being able to provide the support over a period of time that just gets people results. We're there to answer questions. We're there almost 24/7, but not quite, but we're there to really help people implement and understand and just answer questions and get you to your goal.
Yes,
Provide
yes.
success for where you want to get. And, a lot of times people will come to me for weight loss because, we specialize in that. But at the same time, weight loss will happen when the body is balanced and is detoxed.
Yes,
So
yes.
if all the organs are working properly, if all of our hormones are working efficiently, if we've done everything to avoid our food sensitivities or release a lot of emotional things that maybe we're still hanging on to, once those things are balanced and addressed in the body, weight loss is just a really nice, a natural side effect of having the body in balance. So
true.
we work on all these different aspects and just really working closely with people to customize what they need and tweak it when we need to as well. Because sometimes people will hit a certain wall, or they'll just, they need just that little bit more support. And so we're always available to help with that as well.
I absolutely love that. And I'm super excited and happy to bring this to the Rise Over Run Vancouver community, because I truly believe all health issues come from the gut. Yes. And like whether it's a skin issue, maybe face issue, no matter what, I believe it's coming from the gut. Even our mental attitude or like our outlook, So if we're eating healthy and we're eating the right foods and targeted nutrients, it will also help us operate better too.
Oh, completely. Yeah. A lot of times when people are, 1 in 3 people that come to see me are dealing with mental health challenges, whether it's anxiety, depression, many different aspects of it, even sleep issues. It's about understanding where those biochemical imbalances are within the body, and then how can we address it with nutrients, because a lot of times it's just neurotransmitter imbalances, inflammation going on in the brain because of foods or toxicity to certain things. Even there are pathogens or parasites, virus, bacteria, fungus. All these things play a really huge issue in what's going on in our body. And so being able to address it in a natural way where there's no side effects or very little side effects as far as detoxification, it's life-changing. Honestly, it's life-changing. And especially when you're working with children, it's black and white as far as how they can change, as far as their focus, their attitude, their sleep, their hyperactivity, knowing where we can address food things, or a lot of times it's mineral deficiencies as well because of our gut health. And 100%. So when the minerals are off, our electrolytes are off, our whole biochemical processes in our body are off. So
and it really comes from the digestive system, right?
Yeah, and just being aware of what foods, I think we're all so pressed with time these days, and it's being able to provide a healthy meal with a budget and time constraints, and being able to do it effectively and in a way that your kids will enjoy it too. So
yes, especially when you have kids.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
that's the whole process as well.
It makes it
So
a lot more difficult to have them enjoy it, be
yeah.
healthy, be in the budget and in the time. There's so many things that do come to play with us trying to stick to a diet. So
Yeah.
with your mentorship program or your program where you're guiding people through it, I think that's
Mm-hmm.
very powerful because when you give instructions, say for example you're personal training someone or you're helping an
Mm-hmm.
individual with advice and say, hey, there's all these things, eat this, do this, here's a diet plan. It can be very overwhelming. And then also, it's good to have almost like an accountability partner with someone with the results you're looking for. So
Yes.
that can also kind of keep you accountable, you can check in with, and things like
Completely,
this.
completely. Yeah. And as I say, this is the missing piece of the puzzle for people getting success.
Yeah,
And
100%. I believe that's going to really help you stand out from the crowd as
yeah,
well.
I think so, and there's different levels too, again, it's all based on budget and what people
Yeah,
want to accomplish with their health. Some people don't have much choice as far as, this has to be done for people if they're
yeah.
facing certain health
Certain health issues,
conditions,
yes.
it's very, very important to understand that and to know that there's always some food or nutrient or therapy that can support whatever imbalance you've got going on.
Yes,
I believe that there's always improvement that can be made.
100%.
Just because you're diagnosed with a certain condition doesn't mean that that is your fate.
Yes,
I've
agreed.
seen it over and over and over again where we can make change and better our health with just very subtle things sometimes, like a lot of times it is we have to do some changes, but it's just implementing one thing at a time and being able
Yes.
to feel comfortable with that, and seeing the results. Once you can see some results.
You almost start getting addicted to it because you're like, okay,
Exactly.
it's working. I got to keep this
Exactly.
going. It's
Yeah.
feeling
Yeah.
good.
And so when people start feeling better and, people are like, oh, I can't give up this or I don't want to change that. And it's like, as soon as you start to feel better, you give it a little trial elimination and you see how different your life can be. Brain fog disappears, whatever issues we've got going on will, become better and they just kind of fade away. And people forget, they
Yeah,
forget
yeah.
how
How that
maybe
felt.
ill or how they felt. And so it's just, yeah, it's just having that faith to take a little bit of a leap to try an alternative
Yeah.
type
Well,
method.
there's many cases where the doctor will say you got 5 years to live, or you're not going to make it through this, and then they go their own route, like a juicing cleanse or something like this, and they make it, and it's completely gone, and they lived another 30 years and still living.
It's
So
possible, anything's possible. And I think the right mindset and having that information of what will help you,
mhm.
and then having a mentor or a
Yeah, the
coach
guidance
is to
is
implement
huge.
it, because it's especially if you're facing, conditions that are serious or
Yeah.
different health, kind of things. We need to have that support
Yeah, yeah,
and
it's almost
provide
like
and
the light
help.
at the end of the tunnel or the
Exactly.
guidance.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's very important. And I
Hmm.
truly believe that all health issues can be repaired. All health issues can be really helped with diet.
Yeah.
Diet and nutrition. I believe our bodies are strong enough. God has provided us with everything we need to help us along our journey. So
Yes.
I truly believe everything can be healed from diet.
Yes.
And again, a lot of the times when you go to the hospital, you get the band-aid. You don't get something that's actually helping the underlying issue.
There's certain times when we need things like this
Definitely,
because it's
definitely.
life-saving. And if you need to go that route initially, of course, you need to do what you need to do at this, but
100%
at the
agree.
same
Yes,
time it's
yes.
very good and important to dive a little deeper and to
Hmm.
understand where, what are the factors that are causing this. Is it external factors? Is it because of nutritional deficiencies?
It
Do you
could be,
need more
yes.
omega-3s? Whatever it is, and is it in the right form for you?
Yeah.
And that's with using the tools that we do have, it really will, as I say, hit the nail on the head and really get results for people. I've been doing this for over 10 years now and using biofeedback for 10 years. And so
Oh wow! So over a decade,
over
you've
a
been
decade, yeah, I've been doing it. I mean, I've
so
been studying nutrition for 30 years, but I've been
wow.
doing,
This is your girl to go to. You're gonna have to get in touch with Valerie. Over
yeah.
10 years experience and 30 years
Mm-hmm.
of researching in the health and
Mm-hmm.
very healthy herself. So Definitely a good mentor to have in this case. So
Yeah,
I'm
thank you.
very, very happy to bring your services and what you have to offer to Rise Over Run. I'm very excited for it and strongly believe in what you're doing too.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Yeah, my website is up so people can always look at that.
So I will have all your
Oh, great.
information
Okay.
down in the description. Website, Instagram handle. We'll
Okay.
put everything there. Make sure you guys have easy access to get in touch. And you
Mm-hmm.
can also send me a DM, and I'd be more than happy to connect the both of you and set you on the right path.
Definitely.
I have to share something really quick. I used to work at McDonald's as a first assistant manager at McDonald's,
Mm-hmm.
and I ate a lot of McDonald's, and my life was going pretty good at the time, but I was getting very depressed.
Mm.
And it was weird because I was a very positive, outgoing, having fun type of person. But I spoke with the manager. One time a manager was giving me a ride home, another manager. And I was telling him, I don't know what's going on. I'm feeling really depressed. He's like, well, how's your diet? Like, are you eating a lot of McDonald's? I said, that's all I'm eating. And he said, well, that's probably why. And that was the very first time I ever really started thinking about what I'm eating and
And the impact
and
it
the
was
impact
having
that
on you.
that it's
Yeah.
having. And I
Yeah.
remember I actually cut off the McDonald's. I think I went vegetarian for like 3 months.
Yeah.
I was eating nothing but fruit and vegetables at the time,
Did a
and then
little cleanse.
it
Yeah.
changed like
Yeah, for sure.
instantly.
Yeah.
And when you're eating good, you feel good and you do good.
Yeah, for sure. And just to mention too, I work out of different locations. I have offices all over the Lower Mainland.
This is really cool.
I work out of Vancouver. I
Okay.
work out of White Rock. I work out of Langley, and I work out of Chilliwack. So
Okay, wow.
I have lots of different locations,
Yeah, yeah.
clinics, and different things that I work out of. So I will come to the area of the client as well. So it's not like people have to travel out to South Surrey to see me. As I say, I'm kind of
Different
covered
locations.
at different locations on different days. So I try to make it available for everybody.
That is absolutely amazing. And you can tell she's really on her mission to help others, right? It's not just you come to me, I'll take care of you. You're going to where the people are. So you're really putting the people 1st,
Mm-hmm.
which I absolutely love. So what did the process, because you said you're an accountant, I think it's just an amazing switch, right?
Yes,
And
yeah.
this is something very purposeful. What did the process look like when you wanted to start making that change?
Well, I guess it was it was interesting because when I was going through my health challenges in my 20s, as you were explaining about just discovering about how different things can affect you, I was going through that same thing in my 20s. And I just dove into reading, looking at everything I could, reading every label, understanding. And so self-taught a lot in the old days. And it was really funny. I had my office and I'd be sitting and doing accounting and finance. And I'd have the rest of the staff coming in asking me, well, what should I be doing with this if I have this condition? Or, I'm not feeling that great today, or my energy is really bad. What should I do? And I just thought this is quite interesting on how this is really my passion,
Yeah.
And so when,
awesome.
When I was able to have my children, after they got to a certain age, I went back to school and got my nutrition certification and just started from there. Then I started working in different naturopathic clinics and different health stores and things like that. And just over time, just sort of really found what my niche is and what I really enjoy doing. And working one-on-one with people and being able to really make a difference and being a detective, really trying to understand what's going on with people and how can we help. And so again, using biofeedback as the tool, that was just the best way to be able to see what's going on with people based on their reactions to these different energy and frequencies. And then people having an open mind, it is a different approach. And sometimes, people always ask me, well, does it show anything serious or dangerous or anything like that? And I always say, well, if there's anything that I think might warrant further investigation, I'll always make recommendations for you to see your doctor or follow up with something if there's something that, we need to just, get to the bottom of. Maybe it's somebody's iron levels are really low and we want to just do some testing, or thyroid, or different things, right?
It could be a more serious call.
Yeah, exactly. So I always make sure that I provide that information as well if people are curious about different health concerns. So
That's awesome.
mm-hmm.
What stuck with me, what you said, is like being a detective.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like now I imagine it as like when you get the when you're doing the frequency test.
Yes.
And it's like the first 48 for you. Okay, I gotta dive in.
Completely. And it's really, really interesting because even the other day I had a client who had been to a certain part of the world, picked up a parasite.
Oh wow.
You know, and since then her health has not been great and
Really?
dealing with different things. And we were looking at her biofeedback report, and it was different parasites were showing up in different areas of her body.
No
Some of
way.
them, for example, even in the pineal gland. So again, I'm not diagnosing,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just letting us know where the frequencies are showing imbalances. And so in the pituitary gland, which is one of the master glands in the brain, it was showing a lot of reactivity to a certain type of parasite.
Wow.
And whether that was completely in there, I'm not 100% sure, but it was just showing stress that was going on within the body.
Yeah.
And all of her hormone systems were starting to shut down. Her adrenals, her thyroid, all these different types of hormones that run our body.
Yeah.
If there's something going on in the pineal, the hypothalamus, or the pituitary gland, those are the overriding
the main
you know,
glands.
the glands that are helping run all the different hormone processes in the body. And so if there's
you don't
toxicity,
want those to be attacked by parasites, that's for sure.
well, no, and so, you know, but these things happen, and
that's
at least it was showing us that information. We know, you know, I've let her know there's parasite cleanses we can do, and she's also due to have a scan, so she's going to mention it to her doctor as well, and we'll collectively work together moving forward to help. Yeah, it's really as I say, it's life changing when you can figure out what's going on with you and how to address it and apply.
It's crazy when you might have something wrong with your body. You can think it's one thing that's totally actually not the case, and it could be something you would have never even thought, like parasites, like stuff like that. And you know, these cases of parasites, it's happening more and more often, right? And just with the food that we eat that's out there, and even some of the like tap water and stuff as well too. I always encourage a really good water filtration.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And a lot of times it's being able to. It's not just parasites. It can be other things. It can be fungus and bacteria. And I find that radiation is a huge thing for everyone right now. Whether it's our phones or our laptops or our earbuds or different things.
Right.
And it seems to me that there's some sort of correlation between radiation in our body and the growth of parasites sometimes as well. Or just, no, I shouldn't just say parasites. It could be pathogens, meaning virus, bacteria, fungus, because radiation is just one thing. Another thing that our immune system and our body has to deal with, you know, when we've got food sensitivities and chemicals and toxins and
trying to fight the
radiation, and that is what affects our bone marrow and all of our blood supply. So it's really, really important that we learn not to overdo it with certain technologies, or at least take a break from them and have them off your body as well.
Wow, this is amazing. I'm gonna be highlighting this piece for sure. You know, and it's so common for us to sleep surrounded by radiation. Our phones plugged in. We have our phone plugged in, so we're holding on to the phone that's plugged into electricity.
Yes.
It's just mind blowing thinking about it. And then you have your laptop beside your head.
Yeah.
All this.
It's amazing. And even the Wi-Fi coming off my printer, I was surprised. I have a meter that checks the radiation and the EMFs and all the different energies that can be around us. And I was surprised because I'm sitting right here, got my laptop, got my printer right there. And I was like, whoa, this is incredible. Just from being Bluetooth or just that sort of thing as well.
And that just reminded me of like the smart home technology that's coming out. When people are going to have Wi-Fi in their fridge and their oven, and then their whole house is Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi light bulbs. What do you think about this?
I think we really have to be cautious with using some of this stuff, and we have to have the awareness of how this is impacting our body.
Yeah.
So even, for example, green leafy vegetables are one of the best ways to help detox the body.
Oh,
B vitamins, something called Lugol's iodine solution. will help your body detox radiation a little bit better. You know, when
Wow.
Chernobyl happened and when Fukushima, when the nuclear reactors
Yeah, yeah,
had
yeah. I know
those
exactly.
issues,
Yeah.
everybody in the area received iodine to help their body just detox
From the
away from
radiation. So
radiation.
iodine is what
Specifically, yeah, something called Lugol's iodine or just
Lugol's
iodine in
iodine.
general will help the body, along with B vitamins, something called spirulina or chlorella. There's many other things too, but it really depends on what you're reacting to and what
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
supportive to your body, because there's many different ways to even help ourselves. For example, inflammation.
Yeah, it's
Sorry, I'm
huge.
going off
And
on a tangent,
no,
but
no, no.
it's
Please
with
keep, please keep going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is good.
even with inflammation, there's several different approaches that we can take.
Yeah,
Sometimes people's bodies will prefer curcumin, which is a spice or a herb, I
yeah.
guess, that we can help with inflammation. Some people's bodies prefer something called omega-3 fatty acids.
Yes, yeah.
Some people's bodies prefer something called serrapeptase or nattokinase, which is an enzyme approach to helping with inflammation as well going on in the
Yes,
body.
yes. Enzymes are huge.
So all these things can provide benefit, but it's knowing what is
Is
the
most beneficial for
from
you.
you. Yeah, what
Ah,
is
that
your
is
body
key.
resonating with? Because if we can figure that out,
That is so
that's the
cool to
key.
know, because say for example, if someone who, like you mentioned, there's the couple different things that can help, and
Mm-hmm.
the one individual who may need this is taking this and it's not actually being effective.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that they can see you and you can actually find out what it is they specifically need for them, and find what's, specifically for them, and then help treat the cause.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I think what you're doing is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're gonna have to do another podcast after this and dive into questions just related on the health and on the detoxing, because I'm really interested in all of this, and people are really starting to realize for themselves as well how important that this is, and also how unhealthy a lot of the foods out there that we may have thought of has been healthy. A
Yeah.
lot of people think just because you're going to the grocery store you're eating healthy, but
Right.
it's necessarily not the case, right?
Yeah. And more it's about understanding what's not the best thing for your body.
Oh, yes,
And
yes, yep.
eating different things. For example, a category of vegetables is called nightshades. And nightshades are potato, tomato, peppers, eggplant, paprika, hot sauce, and tobacco. So
Oh,
sometimes
wow.
people will have a lot of joint pain or inflammation going on in the
Yeah,
body,
yeah.
and it's associated to this certain nightshade vegetable that you are just not able to break down and assimilate very well.
That is so
I
interesting.
yeah, I had a
Wow.
client who was on Tylenol threes for
Oh,
about 5 years for her
yeah,
inflammation and
yeah,
pain
yeah,
in
yeah.
her hip. And I can you imagine what her liver was like. But
So yeah,
anyway,
yeah, yeah.
but I
It gave me
said,
the goosebumps thinking.
yeah, and I just said, why don't we try the elimination of the nightshades? Because she was uh, eating a certain hot pepper spread every morning on some toast.
Oh, yes,
And
yes, our
so
daily
she
habit.
loved it, and she was eating a lot of hot sauce and different things, and had no didn't understand the correlation
Yeah.
between what she was eating every day and the pain and the
And
inflammation. And
wow.
time and time again, I get a text from a client about a week after, sometimes at a week, sometimes at 2 weeks, how much better their pain is and how much more their inflammation is, because they don't realize that what they're putting in,
It's
whether
really
it's,
causing it.
yeah, and if it's because of the digestion or just your own biochemical makeup, you're not processing these
Yeah,
things
exactly.
well.
Some people may need tomatoes and some people shouldn't eat tomatoes,
Exactly, or
or
in a certain form, or in combination with. And it's understanding the impact, and it's not about perfection. We don't, it's not about, nothing is
none of us
perfect
are
in
gonna be
life.
perfect,
But
but
at the same time, if you have that awareness,
you can
then you
focus.
make choice. If you
Yes.
choose to eat something, that maybe there's going to be a little inflammation associated with it. But if you partake in adhering to sort of your optimal plan for 85-90% of the time,
Yeah.
then
You can have those treats once in a while. Like
yeah,
her eating it every day, she loves it. But now that she knows, she can maybe just eat it once a week and then once a month or something, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. So you're providing so much value, like there's so much value for the audience and for myself as well. So I was just thinking of something. It's like, say for example, if my knee and hip are bothering me, I could be popping glucosamine all day, but if I'm not actually finding out why,
yes,
it's not. It's still. I may be adding more glucosamine, but it's not actually taking away what's causing it.
And I hear that a lot from people, because people will say, "Oh, I've maybe started eating a certain way, or I've started taking a certain supplement." And I'll say, "Well, do you feel better?" And they're saying, "Well, I'm not sure. I don't really notice anything." And I'm saying, "Okay, well then it's not working, because you should feel something within 2 weeks. It takes something about 2 weeks for us to completely eliminate something from our cells at a cellular level." And so within 2 weeks, or even sometimes as crazy as it sounds, it can be overnight, within even a day or two of just avoiding or implementing something that's the right thing for you. You can get results fairly quickly. So if you've tried these different things and you don't really notice any difference, it's not working. You've got to try something different, because you feel it and you notice it when you hit, as they say, when you get the right thing going on for yourself.
Definitely.
With the plan and then being able to implement it. So
if anyone watching is struggling with any health issues, or it could be sore knee, sore hip, or migraines, anything, if there's anything that you're kind of dealing with on a daily issue, seeing someone like Valerie could save you a lot of time and money. There may be, a cost or a fee, but it's well worth the investment, because you'll actually spend more money trying all these different things and trying all these different supplements. Because that's what we tend to do. It's like, okay, well, I got this problem. We Google it, the first 10 things. Well, I'm going to try this first. It doesn't work. I'm going to try that. You're actually wasting time and money, to where if you see Valerie, it could be a night, it could be a couple weeks, but you're actually
implementing something
and getting to the root cause and having a professional to guide you, someone who's been looking into this over 30 years. So as much as there's a cost or a fee for anything like this, it's well worth the investment. And the best thing to invest in is yourself, is your health, because it's also going to help you perform better as well.
Oh, for sure.
If your mindset's not good and your health isn't where it needs to be, you're also not capable of enjoying the memories with your family and having the time
and the quality of life.
The quality of life. That's what I was going for. Yeah.
And just it is life-changing, knowing what you can do and how you can implement it. And it's about quality of life, and just being able to have those connections and feeling happy and healthy.
When you're healthy, you're usually feeling happy. So just absolutely amazing value that you've been sharing with the audience, Valerie. So thank you. So what packages exactly do you offer, or what would it look like if someone were to reach out and wanted to start the process with you?
For sure, yeah. We usually start off with something called a nutritional assessment, and that includes completing an online questionnaire just to go over your full health history, seeing where you've got any genetic predispositions, any medications you're on, that type of thing. Then we get together, we go through what your objectives are and what you're specifically looking for as far as improving your health, or understanding where there's deficiencies or sensitivities within your current meal plan or your current diet. We'll run a biofeedback scan, and then a report will be generated. It's a 36-page report. We go through all of that information, plus I'll dig a little deeper just to find out where there's other imbalances going on. And then I make recommendations with foods and nutrients, sometimes supplements as well, that might be supportive for whatever your whole health goals are. So if someone's dealing with inflammation or brain fog or weight loss, or whatever someone's wanting to accomplish with their health, that's what we sort of focus on. And I provide all that information. Sometimes we'll go that next step, or people will want to add on a meal plan, where we will then specifically look at other parameters within your own reactions, and we just see, and then we'll come up with a detox meal plan or a weight loss meal plan, maintenance meal plans. You get a really thick binder with a lot of information and recipes, custom tailored to you. And, I'm always there for support. So when we're implementing the coaching program, we're working very closely and we're just going through different reactions that you might be having, because when we make change, we will go through sometimes a detoxification process, and knowing that sometimes different symptoms will come up, people will get frightened or afraid and they'll stop everything because they don't know if this is a helpful thing or is this something that I'm just got to ride out for a few days and I'll get to the other side. So having myself and my staff there, being able to support people when we're going through these a little bit of upheaval or a little bit of different symptoms that we might be dealing with, is just very, very supportive. And it's the accountability as well, knowing that someone's on your side, there to support you and really want you to succeed. My business is word of mouth. And so it's about getting results for people and making sure that they're happy with everything. Yes, that's because this is a different approach with how we do things sometimes. So it's word of mouth. Sometimes people will just even phone me up and say, don't even ask me questions. They'll just say, I want to book an appointment. You help my brother, you help my friend.
Your salespeople are your clients.
Exactly.
Right? I love that.
And that's my goal, is to get people to a point where they feel so much better and the quality of their life is better, that
people around them notice.
And then they send more people to me, and I'm appreciative of it. So
the compound effect.
Yes, exactly.
That is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, and then we do other programs too, as I mentioned before about the biofeedback training. Sometimes people will do that, which is just another, we were talking, just another therapy to support your body healing and changing and going through things. So it's a package, and it's just life-changing, and as I say, if there's other things that would be helpful or supportive, I'll definitely bring in other professionals as well to assist us, because sometimes I'm not a naturopath. I can't do IV therapies. And sometimes, depending on what we're doing, if we want to do something called chelation therapy, which is where we detox and pull heavy metals out of the body.
I was actually just talking about this with Ellie the other day, as a heavy metal detox.
Yes.
And I want to do this.
Yeah. And so it's important to know where you're at. A lot of clients will come to me. I'll see that they're reacting to lead or mercury or cadmium or aluminum or something. And a lot of times we can do it orally, meaning we can take different supplements or foods like cilantro or, certain supplements, or, that we can support this. But if I see someone's at a level that's really high level, I know that they would benefit from getting this chelation therapy. Because
that is so cool.
It's quite dangerous, and hospitals will do it as well for you, but you have to kind of fight for it a little bit. And
if it's really, really needed.
If it's really, really needed, so then I'll refer people off. But we'll still do everything we can with diet and nutrients and things like that. The rule of thumb with detox is it's 1 month for every decade we've been alive. So now if somebody's in their 30s or 40s, that's at least 3 or 4 months it'll take to get you to sort of your optimal health. Now, of course, that's different for every person, because some people maybe don't need as much. Other people might take 6 months. So, and I work with a lot of people that are probably 50 plus. And so it's a 5 or 6 month process.
That is so cool.
To get through to the other side. But as we're here for that support, we try to make it as easy for people as possible. And just, you don't have to think too much about it. We look after knowing what you have to do and get you there. And then
gotta follow the steps.
Follow the steps, as well as learning about what's the best thing for your body. And over that 6 months, you learn and you start to adapt. And then I want to make this sustainable for you moving forward.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle, not just a 6 month thing. A lot of people do a detox and then go right back to the way they're living, and that's not really the point of it, right?
Yeah, it's not being on plan or off plan. It's about just changing some of our things that we're doing, some of the foods, on the day-to-day. And as I say, sometimes it's not about perfection, but we try our best, and we do it from there.
1% better each day.
Exactly. Keep going forward.
I'm very, very inspired. This is beautiful beautiful interview. Tons of value. I'll even be taking notes while I'm editing it. So just
Wonderful.
awesome. And I definitely myself want to do an assessment. That's something we can even record and things like
Oh, for
this.
sure. Yeah.
And yeah, I definitely would love to see where I'm at, because I'm 31 now, and the doctors isn't something that I go to.
Right.
And so I would love to do an assessment, see where I'm at. And the detox is really cool. I see right there, actually, just grab them. Show them that you have a. Is this your product?
It's not my specific product, but these are just foot pads that you can put on the bottom of your feet, and it just helps to detox. You know, there's many natural ways that we can detox, and many sources. And this is one of the ways that sometimes people. I do something called hydrotherapy as well, where we put our feet into a little foot bath, and then I have a orb or a sphere that's attached, and that's all based on energy and frequency as well. So that's we haven't even gotten into that, but that's another. That's another thing that sometimes is very supportive for people when they're detoxing.
What's that called?
It's called a BEFE hydrotherapy system.
Hydrotherapy.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me of, actually, just yesterday, me and my friend were talking about grounding frequency.
Yes.
Which I'm sure you're.
Yeah.
Is it a similar?
It would give you similar type energy, but what it does is it will diffuse energy from this orb into the water, and then it gets absorbed through the skin. And a lot of times our red blood cells tend to clump together. It's just a normal thing that happens, but we don't want it happening all the time, and we don't want it happening, to the detriment of us. So with doing hydrotherapy, it will help oxygenate our cells and separate the red blood cells.
Yes, and I believe it's very important for us to consistently oxygenate our blood cells, because it's actually a lack of oxygen which causes the blood cells to clump and causes other health issues, blood clots, stuff like this.
Yeah, for sure. So being able to, they've done experiments and research on it where they've done 3 sessions with this hydrotherapy, and then they look under the microscope and see how the blood cells are reacting. And it usually takes about 3 sessions for someone to be able to, their bodies to be able to separate a little bit better. So it works, I've been told. 1 hydrotherapy session is equal to 3 sessions in a hyperbaric oxygen chamber.
Really?
Yeah. And this is a half an hour. It's 35-minute sessions that we do for people. And so it's a lot less money and a lot less time than having to go into the oxygen chamber.
Which is exactly what we need. We need budget and more time.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly.
Awesome.
And another thing that it will do is it helps supercharge our white blood cells. Because of the electron that's associated with our white blood cells, it gives it energy, these white blood cells, to attack more of the hidden or subclinical type infections going on in our body. So it will help with fungal infections. It'll help with subacute bacterial infections, pathogens in the body, all kinds of different things. So it's just another sort of modality that I support my clients with, and whether they do it once a week or twice a week for a series of a few weeks or something, that has really impacted people when they're doing a nutrition and wellness plan, because we're supporting with the foods and the nutrients, and this is just another way to detox as well. So that is fabulous results for people, just really, really good results. So.
I'm so intrigued by so many things.
We'll need a part 2 where we are doing a biofeedback scan on you, and we can definitely do that. Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be sweet. So we will definitely, so stay tuned. We're definitely going to do that. So I'm definitely excited. We'll definitely jump on a program. My face hurts from smiling so much. Definitely just such a valuable interview. You've shared so much value, so much knowledge. And for anybody watching, this is your girl. You come see Valerie, and she can help you with anything that you may be facing. Again, you can send me a DM. I can connect you. You can just go ahead and follow her, send her a DM. I'll also provide website and everything down in the description. But just amazing job today.
Thank you.
I'm very, very happy to bring your services to Rise Overrun, the community, and it fits perfectly because I know everyone in the community is trying to better themselves in health, business, financials, and all areas. And we got some personal trainers, on the page and so on and so
Awesome.
forth. So
Yep.
this fits right in
Yeah.
perfectly. And sometimes we need to take care of our health before we even get in the gym. And
Yeah. I just even recently I was doing a weight loss plan with a client, and she is an instructor at. She has a full-time job, plus she's an instructor for a fitness company as well.
yeah,
And she was working out like crazy nonstop, and she was getting zero
results.
results.
This is a good point.
So we implemented the nutritional wellness plan for her with the weight loss. She actually cut back on her working out, and she's lost 25 pounds in 3 weeks, which is pretty extreme. She's
really
going very hardcore on it, but that's just an example of
I'm sure her work ethic is a part of that.
Oh, totally,
But again,
yeah.
diet is the hugest part. If you're going to the gym and you're not taking care again of the underlying issue, you're just going to be on this roller coaster your whole life.
Yeah.
Right? We get healthy and then we get unhealthy, and it's the same thing with spending and everything like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, it's so true. And again, it could be some serious health issues to where when you start going to work out, you could actually injure yourself if you're not taking care of the health issues first.
Yeah.
Or it's just good to take care of both at the same time. But like you
Yeah.
said, it's very common for people to be going to the gym, giving it all they got, and not getting close to the results they deserve.
Exactly.
Even.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just a couple little tweaks in our day-to-day habits, diet, nutrition, that can actually really help take the results from here to here without much more effort. Right?
Completely. Yeah. I see it a lot because exercise is a stress on the body, and we do need exercise because when 100%. I see people that are, it's quite interesting when you see people that maybe haven't taken care of themselves as well when it comes to food and diet and maybe supplements, but they exercise. That is a huge improvement over people that don't exercise at all and maybe have been eating very healthy. So it just shows you that exercise and moving your body is a huge component to our health and how our body works. But at the same time, sometimes people can be overdoing it. And as I said, exercise is a stress. So it can raise cortisol levels. It raises different parameters in your body. We need it, but at the same time, what is the best
for you,
yeah, exactly. And knowing that. So
because you could be like you said, going to the gym all the time, not getting the results you want, that could be doing more harm. But if you like what your client has done, right, taking care of maybe some of the other issues,
right,
and now she's still working out and really putting in the effort, but she doesn't have to be going as hard as she was and still get more results.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool.
Yeah. A lot of times people don't realize they're using stimulants to move them and give them energy. And stimulants do not nourish the body, and they do not provide any resources for the body. So a lot of times we might be consuming way too much coffee, sugar, all these kind of fun things, right? Or whatever, but it's understanding what kind of impact it's having on you.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Because if you're, going to the gym and taking 2 scoops of pre-workout before, you shouldn't even really need 2 scoops of pre-workout. And if you're healthy, and your energy level should already be up.
Yeah.
And then also say, for example, if you're not taking care of the diet and you're just going to the gym, right, and you're overdoing it, it can lead to injuries, which happens. So a lot of individuals, especially in their 30s, they start going to the gym and then they get a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
And then they heal the shoulder and then they're back in the gym and then their knee injury and then they pulled something in their back, and that's because of diet.
Completely. Yeah. And their adrenals and their hormones and different things too. If we're overdoing it and we're not nourished, then all of those hormones and those glands don't work as well, and we become overly fatigued. It's chronic fatigue almost, and then we're reaching for more stimulants and more carbs and coffee and all that sort of stuff. And
it's such a brutal cycle, I'll tell you.
It is.
Yeah, so the importance of the value and the services you're offering is absolutely amazing. So why don't we finish it off, and what you're doing absolutely amazing with your business. I know you've been getting really busy, and we met actually at one of the wellness shows, and it's just absolutely amazing to see what you're doing and how you're helping the clients, and it's very impactful. But what advice do you have for other entrepreneurs out there that may have an inspiration in health and want to get started and just haven't started?
That's a great question. Because it took me a while to sort of figure out what my niche is and what I really wanted to focus on. Don't give up. You know, if you have a passion for health and helping people and just, you know, making a difference, it's just finding that right formula for you,
I
and
like
just be
that.
very clear on what you want and what you visualize yourself doing. Because if you have the vision and you have the focus and the drive, you'll get there. And it's just sometimes we need to tweak a little bit of our path, and how we present things, and maybe people that you associate with as well.
This is good.
Because I've worked, when I started out, I worked at different clinics, I've worked at spas, I've worked at many different, you know, work on my own. I worked at many different places and targeting how I was going to help people, you know, and what was the best way that I can get my message across and how will people resonate to what I'm providing, you know. And so I think the thing is just keep up with the vision and the passion, uh, and if you work hard, it'll come. It happens and it comes. And aligning yourself with good people too is very
I
important as
love
well.
that.
Relationships, you know, creating relationships with people so they
Yes.
have a very good trust level with you as well, because you care about them. You want people to be happy and well. So
That was really
yeah.
good advice. Really good advice. I think the relationship part is key, right?
Hmm.
And build when it comes to quote unquote, it's not that you're selling services, but when it comes to quote unquote selling a product or services, it's really about building relationship with your clients,
Of
and that's
course,
what builds
yeah.
the trust. That is beautiful advice. Thank you so much, Valerie. It was a pleasure
Very much
to
so.
interview
Thank
you
you.
and
Yes.
have you on the podcast. Thank you so, so much. And really good job. So,
Thanks.
thank you guys. Make sure you guys follow her. Visit the website. I'm going to have everything down in the description. I know all of us can use a little guidance or improvement in our health. Also going to help us be more effective in life as well. So make sure you reach out to Valerie. She's absolutely amazing. You'll also love working with her. I think that's also important. It is enjoying who you're working with. And I think you guys will absolutely love working with Valerie. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you follow her, visit her website, and over and out.